Switching back now to one of the more exciting sports on campus right now, we look at the Yale women's volleyball team. After barely missing the Ivy title last year, they're ready to bounce back this year and have a great season. They traveled to California this past weekend for Shannon Farrell's homecoming back to her home state, and unfortunately they faced 3 tough teams. They made a tough trip home.
Early in the match, Laurel Johnson and Shannon Farrell say, "Welcome to the U.S., Canucks," as they turn away the Montreal attempt with a sweet American block. Then it's Johnson again. This freshman from Jersey is gonna be sick, because she can do it on defense, and then gives the Elas a 16-12 lead in Game 1 with the kill. She was one of 3 Bulldogs with double-digit kills on the day. Very next point, and this is just some good volleyball. Look at the Anya-Ali combo with an incredible dig to keep the ball alive. The Bulldogs end up taking the point and the game, and that, my friends, is why we all got Ivy title on our minds here back in New Haven. Game 2, and it's Hume time. Morgan Hume throwing it down for the kill, but the Carabins would outlast Yale 30-25 to take Game 2. But then Game 3 came along. Montreal could do no wrong, and well, Yale couldn't really do much at all. Our friends from north of the border put together an unreal 500 hitting percentage, while the Elas could muster up only 10 kills and an 0.53 percentage. They went down 30-14 in Game 3. Despite impressive performances from freshman studs Julia Maylander and Laurel Johnson, who contributed 11 and 10 kills respectively, the Elas would fall 3-1 to open up their weekend at the A6 Classic. Yale to rest up though to take on host Pacific on Saturday. 13-all in Game 1, and it's the Frosh, Alexis Cruzy, making this shit look easy. She puts Yale back on top, part of a career-high 23 kills for Lexi on the day. But the Tigers have their own freshman from Cali. Her name is Megan Meemack, and she was Mac-tacular. Beyond a dominant performance from Meemack, Pacific took a close Game 1 by a score of 30-27. But Pacific is not just their one-woman show. They also have the imposing force of Johanna Hilbers. She led the Tigers with 16 kills in the match and gives her team the 15-11 lead. But just like their last match versus Montreal, the Elis had that one game where they just fell apart. With an 0.98 hitting percentage and just 12 kills in Game 2, as well as errors left and right. They go down 2-0 in games and head into Game 3, desperately trying to get something going and get back in this match. Game 3, and it's Farrell. I'm going back to Cali. The senior from Lafayette, California, shows the state what they've been missing out on as she clinches a tough Game 3, 32-30 for the Elis. But Pacific has no intention of going 5 games in this one, as Tigers' Alexa Anderson is a hater as she splits the back line to give Pacific a 10-9 lead. She had 16 kills on the day. Yale's D, though, getting better every day. The sophomores, Kristen Wilk and Allie Mendenhall, deny the kill to keep it a 1-point affair. But UOP played some D themselves, holding Yale to a 175 hit percentage in the final game to finish off the Elis as Yale loses it 3-1. Despite a career day for Cruzy and Mendenhall, Pacific was just too much for the young Eli squad. Before they came back to the Have, though, they'd have to make a trip down in Golden Bear country to take on number 10 team in the country, Cal. Berkeley made quick work of the Elis, however, keeping their season at a perfect 11-0 at the expense of the Bulldogs, who leave California riding a 3-match losing streak. I hope they got a movie on the flight back, because it must have been one long trip home.
Make sure to head out to John J. Lee tonight and this weekend, as the Yale volleyball team has 3 matches this weekend at home. It'll be the final 3 matches before next weekend when they'll open up their Ivy season against Brown.
And turning to women's cross country, the women placed 2nd place at the BC Invite. All Ivy junior Lindsay Donaldson placed 1st place, Shirley Campbell placed 4th, and Catherine McKinstry placed 7th. The women's cross country team will be in Boston Friday and Saturday for the HYPs. Turning to men's cross country, they will also be in Boston this Friday battling Harvard.
Those women are in some pretty good shape out there, but these women out in the field hockey field are also some pretty good athletes. And this past weekend, they hope to bounce back after a tough stretch here. They won their first game of the season against Virginia Commonwealth. We've had a tough go of it recently. And this past weekend, they made a trip out to the Midwest to take on some tough Big Ten teams and Stanford. And things were so-so. Take a look for yourself.
It was all Spartans all the way in this one, as they outshot Yale a whopping 34-4 on the day. But the Eli goalie Liz Freelander was doing her best impression of a brick wall, laying out for one in the corner, and then showing off some fancy footwork here. Michigan State had 19 corners in the game, but Liz the Wiz made 9 saves on a long day between the pipes to keep her team in it all the way. But anyone who says the Bulldogs lack offensive punch hasn't seen the 5'3" wonder that is Harriet Thayer. She sets up Yale's best chance of the day with the pass up to Kat Lindroth, but the Elis were simply outmatched in this one, dropping it 4-0. Yale will go on to Evanston on Friday for their next game versus another Big Ten school, the Northwestern Wildcats, where things did not get any easier for Yale. The ladies kept this one close early as Rachel Lentz smacks one by a Wildcat goalie Emily Kyle. It's Lentz's first tally of the year and only the second goal in Yale's last 5 games. But once again, Yale will be playing catch-up all day after trailing 2-1 at the half. They did have more chance than this one, however, sending in 9 shots on goal. But despite another stellar game by the overworked Friedlander, the ladies fell in the end by a score of 3-1. No story here, just letting up too many shots and too many corners. The Elis hope to improve on Saturday when they played another one in Evanston, this time against the Pac-10's Stanford. Despite the struggles, team captain Heather Orico was setting the example versus Stanford and leaving everything out in the field. Yale struggled in the first half, but was a whole new team in the second, as Orico makes the crowd gasp on this one off the corner. Missed it by that much. Although Yale will come up short for their 5th loss in a row, they had all 6 of their shots on goal in the second half and outplayed a talented Cardinal team. Orico led the way in the loss with 5 shots on goal, while Friedlander finished off a redonkulous weekend, totaling 34 saves in the 3 games, landing her on the Ivy Honor Roll for the week. Yale hope to take their newfound tenacity and confidence into Ithaca for their second Ivy match of the year this Saturday, facing a Cornell team undefeated in 2 Ancient 8 games this year.
Although there were a lot of great performances throughout all the Yale sports teams this weekend, this week's YSPN Player of the Week is the freshman volleyball player from California, Alexis Cruzy. Cruzy really impressed this weekend with a career-high 23 kills in one of her matches and a .452 hitting percentage, en route to a great weekend featuring 34 kills. She was named Ivy League Rookie of the Week, and she plays tonight against University of Rhode Island in the first of 3 matches at the Yale Classic.
And turning to our top 5 plays of the week, we start off with a field goal, a 48-yard field goal by Alan Kemble.
Number 4, you guys, everyone's been to the football game. There's always the token drunk white guys, white trash dancing. And look at this guy trying to conduct the band. I think he's pretty talented, but you can judge for yourself.
Give that fan a contract. Okay, number 3, goal by Mimi McCauley on a nice through ball and a 2-0 victory over Hartford.
Play number 2. You don't see too many awesome plays in volleyball, but this one deserves some special attention. Look at Anya Probach and Allie Mendenhall doing some teamwork on an amazing dig to keep the ball alive. Bulldogs end up winning the point but losing the match.
And our number 1 play of the week, Steve Santoro, sophomore converted running back, returns the kickoff in the Yale football ball game.
Well, there's some great plays out there. That brings us to the end of our show tonight. And, of course, we can't end our show without this week's reason why Harvard, that crap school over in Cambridge, absolutely sucks. It's not because they abolished early admissions, but the reason why Harvard sucks this week is because they're the only team we beat in field hockey last year, and so far, they're a whopping 0-5 this season. So don't expect anything better from them, and they just suck.
A great week in sports. For Neil Horowitz, I'm Stephen Horn. We'll see you next week.
Go Bulldogs.